Hi, it's me, Daryl. I'm in my shop again, and in this video I'm going to make a folding table in my van for work. And here it is. There it is. It's about 48 inches tall, 18 by 18, used conduit and some aluminum panels I got. Stick around and watch how I make this. Alright, I got it set up for 18 inches here to cut the aluminum slats. I got to cut one end off and then I got to cut it to 18 inches. So here we go with that. Yeah, not fun. So here I am setting up my chop saw outside so I can cut these aluminum brackets off that are going to be the tabletop. These are from a display case that was like you would find it like a home show or something like that when somebody's got a display out there. There's a little clip in each end that you slide it forward and it can click into another piece with an Allen wrench. But I'm taking those out because I'm not using them. I'm just going to use the aluminum. So my wife is standing on the other side of the table and she's receiving all the parts and pieces that I take off and cut off, so that I don't have to keep moving around the table saw to do this. So I keep each one of them, get the end cut off, and then I cut the other end to the length. So here I am, I zoomed in on it so you can see it a little bit better, the cutting of it. I got like just a couple more of these left, and then once they're all done, I will take them inside and I will have to do a little cleanup on them, and then we will start making my rest of my folding table. That is the process of doing this, is cutting all these. So last time I was in the shop, on the arms for the table, I marked out 22.5 millimeters. I got a mark on here now, and I got it clamped to my table, and I'm going to use that center punch thing to center punch, and then use one of the arms to measure out each one of them as I go. They have to be pretty precise, as I want those panels to lay right next to each other. So I put a mark there at 22.5. Now I got to line this thing up on it, which is going to be fun because I can't see under there. Right there. And I think we are centered on the line. So now I just got to go. That should give me a little dent right there. Pardon about my cough. So I'm going to take my center punch and enhance that a little bit. It looks about right, but I can also do this. So at this point, I'm marking out the center of each one of those slats where it's going to go on this bar, and I'm going to go over to the drill press and drill them out. But first I have to mark out the first hole and then get it punched with a center punch, mark out the second one, make sure it's still in line, and then go in and I can punch the last three using just the center punch and the calipers. Once I get these all marked out and center punched, I can take it over to the drill press and set up the drill press to do the drilling for these bars. So if I get this in here, I turn on my laser and I line the laser up with that drill, that hole right there. I should be able to put a stop block on here. So here I have it set up at the vise. I have the quarter-inch drill bit set up and a stop block so that I can repeat all of them. I'm going to drill it. I'm going to drill the other three, and then I will come back to this one and start drilling the other holes in this one. This is the first hole of 5. So then after I get that set up, I do the second one, and then I got 3 more of these arms, 2 more of these arms to do after this. After I get that done, I've set up the first one again here, and I've set it up to where I marked it for the second hole, and I made the stop block in there where it's going to be for the rest of them, and I drill it. After that, I drill the third hole after the other 3 are all drilled, and I set up the stop block again. So then we get this one drilled, and then we get the fourth one drilled. Same thing process every time. I have to go and do all the other three and then come back to this one. And then we finally get the fourth one done. Kind of starts to look like a flute that I'm making instead of a tabletop. But, you know, hey, that's what happens when you're making things. Things start to look different as you're going along. All right, now that I have all the arms drilled out for all the drilling I think I'm going to need to do, unless I have to do any additional stuff that I've not foreseen, I have to go clean up all those edges and the insides of the pipes so that they have a nice smooth transition, and then I will get back to this and we will start assembling the arms onto the stand. I think I found a faster way to do this. Let me show you what I found. I have a countersink for metal in here, and if I just put it down here, and just like that, they're all cleaned up. So now that I have that done, I need to do just put the arms on this thing. Let's get this bucket out of the way. I need to put the arms on these ones, and I need to put the arms on these ones. All right, now this one is going to be the tricky one. So I got to take this apart. Okay, now I need to get Allen wrench that this fits. All right, so I got my bike wrench and an Allen wrench. And the bike wrench go on one side and the Allen wrench on the other, and I can twist them. But what I need to do, I need to make sure I'm not over tightening. So it's exactly 12 inches in between. Okay, that's good enough. Now, we have a wrench. All right, now we have our two arms in there, and they should be also so much parallel. So it's like 10 and a 16th. It's we're gonna have to push in a little bit, but that's fine. Now the other ones I have to do with two Allen wrenches. Let's turn this thing around. All right, move that one up out of the way for a moment. I will eventually have to take these back off again because I will have to put Loctite on them. So the way this works is when it's fully up, the arms should be like that. And then my tabletop pieces will sit, will be bolted on across the top of these. So like these ones will be bolted on over there, and then the other ones will be bolted on the inner ones. And then when you pick this thing up, you'd lift up, these ones will come up, these ones will come up, and when you lift them up, you pull it apart and then fold it down. I have a table I can show you. I'll have this one done and I'll be able to show you. With this positioned right there, right by the side, I want to put this in. And take my hammer. I think this is how this is going to work. I want to hold it. To the edge, and I just want to go tap. It gives me a mark. So I put this here, I put it there, lined it up. So both of them are on the edge like that. And then I mark this one. So then I can cut and push this in here and go. Right there. And then I have to go over on that side, which ought to be fun. Put this one down again so I can check it. But this one should be the same thing. It should be just right on the edge and right even. So we're going to get our drill bit. Make sure it's flush and flush. And that's where we should be drilling the first two. Okay, so let's get this kind of set here so it doesn't fall. So there's my two starting points right there, and they should be pretty accurate. Okay, so I got it set up to drill the first set of slats that are going to go on this thing. I'm going to drill two, I'm going to bolt them on and see how it looks, and then I will go on and drill the other four. So I got it set up here in the drill press. I got a stop block in here. All I have to do is drill it, flip it, drill it, and then put the rib nuts in. So let's get you set up here to see that. So the drill is right here. I got it set up and ready to go. I got it all set up. I got a stop block in here. I got it adjusted so I can just drill one right after the other. So we're going to drill this one, and then I'm going to go put the rib nuts in and see if it works. If not, I'm going to have to cut more of these. So I grab one of these rib nuts. Here we go. Then we thread this thing in. Nope, still not tight. New tool, still learning. And she's solid. And if we grab a 1/4-inch bolt, it will spin in there. Voila. All right. All right. So this one is the very first one in line here on the bottom of this. So we're going to slide this one in. Put these over. And I think I have washers for this too. So I have 8 more of these to drill, so I'm going to go ahead and just drill these all out and we'll put them on the table, and then I will show you the finished top when I get it. Okay, I finished putting in the rest of the riv nuts. I put an extra one here. I have an idea for that, and I thought it might be handy for like hanging things off the table if I'm wanting to. So we just slide these last 2 in place, line them up. And then I clamp them. See if they'll line up. All right, that being done, we're ready to try this table out. Let me get the camera moved back. I'm going to set it up right here. Okay, all the arms are on and everything's in. There we go. Only thing left to do now, I gotta clean it because it's got sticky on here, but it's not as flat as if I'd have done it out of wood. So now that the table is pretty much assembled, the only thing I need to do now is there are caps. The ends of these have holes in them, obviously, and there are caps. I'm going to 3D print. I'm printing one right now. I have one right here. And basically it will just pop into the end of one of these. And it keeps it from being sharp. Now, I have to modify them because the 3D printer doesn't do this wide gap here. And then I'm going to have to find a way to secure them into the table. Being as I have, these ones have a rib nut there. I'm probably going to have to cut out the center of this one, probably like right through there, so that the rib nut can go in there. I probably could just drill a hole in it, and then cut it out straight so that it will slide around the rib nut. And then I'm going to silicone these or glue them in somehow. I haven't figured out how I'm going to glue them in yet. So, like, to show you where that goes. This side, since the rib nuts are over farther, it'll fit in fine. Just slide it in there and pop it in. But this one here, the rib nuts are right close. And it only goes in about that far before it hits. And the rib nut, I think, yeah, I'm going to have to do the whole thing that way. Just cut them, just need to cut them off shorter. And then I'm going to glue these all in, probably epoxy. Maybe epoxy would be best. Also, there are sharp edges on these around here. I'm going to put plugs in here and plugs in here, probably in these ones as well. I got to tighten that one up. I got a lot of tightening to do. I also got to put some lock nut on them, or blue Loctite, just to keep them from moving. May not have to grind those though. I thought I was going to have to, but I think the rib nuts are holding it up just flat. So yeah, probably don't have to do that. Anyway, once I get these in on the bottom, let me show you that part. Get it back on the table up here. So on the bottom of the feet, they're wide open. So I'm going to print some caps for those. They have ones that are feet that I can make the angle I need them to be, but I have to figure out what that angle is. And I will come back down here after I print some of these caps. I haven't decided if I want to do the angled ones here or not. I got to move this thing over there, stand it up on here, and see what the angle would be. If I can figure that out, I will try to see if I can print them at that angle. And if I can print them at that angle, I will try that. And then the fun part is I'll have to turn this thing upside down so I can get the angles in the right and glue those in. So over the past week, I have been testing and printing plugs for my table over here. These ones are going to go in the end of the sides of the table. These are the feet for the bottom of the table. And these are going to be the caps, I hope, for all the ends of the open conduits. Took me a few revisions to get those done. Here's some test ones with different angles, different sizes for the plugs, and then a test one for the end cap, which I got right the first time. So I'm going to get the table up here. I'm going to start fitting these pieces in here. I have to cut one side off like that. So you see this one has like 2 sides to it. This one only has 1. That's the only way it'll fit in there on some of these because of the rib nuts on the end. So let me get started on this and we will film this. So I have the table up here. I got it upside down right now. This side doesn't have rib nuts. They're over here, thus when they're right on the edge. So these ones I can push in real easily. Well, sort of easily. And that's how they're going to fit on the in there. And we got one over here yet. All right, so that's basically what I'm going to do the whole way around. I will show you when I'm done. Next, I have to get this table down on the floor. And put the legs on. This can be a little tricky because I have to get the legs in there. They are angled, so I have to get the angles right. So I have to make sure I get them angled correctly and push them in as far as I can. So that they will be on the right plane. And we'll take our hammer and we'll make sure they're in all the way. All right, and that's those. Now I can flip this over and I can start working on the other end caps. Actually, I'll probably just put it back up on the table. It's a lot easier to work on this upside right. So I got end caps for here. End caps for each one of the ends of these. And I got them for the other side as well. So these ones have a bolt in the way, and so do those. To do those, I'm going to have to cut one of each one of these flanges back a little bit, and I will do that off camera. But basically, that is it. It now has protective caps on the end so I don't hurt my hands. I will cap these off and those off. These ones I think I have to cut down as well, both ends of these and those, because of the riv nuts and the bolts. But this is what it looks like with the feet on and with the end caps on. I got to get the rest on, and we'll get a picture of it when we're done. So we'll come back to this after I get the rest of the caps on. I will show you it. So like I said, on the ones with the bolts out on the edge here, there's a riv nut there in the way, so I cut off the one edge. I take the bolt and I loosen it because the bolt goes all the way down and touches the other side. I slide the plastic part in, and the bolt is actually going to help hold it in place. Here's how I snap it off. Layer lines are this way, so it snaps pretty easy. And with that, all the side caps are on now. Now I just have to figure out how to do these ones. Well, as it turns out, on these ones, not the cornered ones, I printed them short enough to where they will go in. It's just these ones are going to be the problem. Okay, it's me, Daryl, again. So I'm out at my van. Just wanted to show you that I got the table in my van. It's right here. And I did figure out those caps. Basically, what I needed to do on this cap here, that's the one that's going to ride at the top of the table when it's up, there's 4 little tabs on the caps. And what I did is I broke 2 of them off so it would go on either side of the nut. And then the other 2 are what's holding it in. And it seems to be holding in pretty solidly, so I just did it like that. And I've got the thing in my van where it goes. It's hanging on these 2 big hooks and bungeed against the wall so it doesn't rattle a lot. It'll rattle. So anyway, this is the end of this video. I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified when new videos come out. Thanks for watching.